On the count of 3, 1, 2. right, welcome back, Rattler fans. We finally were able to diagnose the technical difficulties that arose during this broadcast, and we're here in the second half. Bill Gree here into the setting is still the same inside the University of St. Mary's University, San Antonio, Texas. David Tovar joined by the one, the only Chad Peters. And, well, Chad, as the final undergrad broadcast for me, it takes me back to the old days when we were when we had all these haywire things that just happened and occurred, and feels good.
For as far as we've come, we are back to back to ground zero there for a little bit. But
it's always good to be humbled, right?
That's what they say.
Oh, man. Well, the Rattlers have been on a roll in the entire first half. They lead 36-29 coming out of the break. Wilson, Benny, Bolton, Alexander, and Matthews bobbing the floor in Rattler gold. Matthews leading all scores with 12. Wilson having a very nice senior day, 8 points, including 2 3-pointers. There's a tough jumper. That shot, no good. Here's Alexander coming up with the rebound. A lot of contact, no foul there.
Dave, you talk about senior day. It's interesting. Fred Wilson, the senior class of one.
Yeah.
And that starting lineup today featuring, I believe, 4 juniors and the 1 senior. So you look ahead to next year's class. It's going to be an experienced team, but boy, that's going to be a big senior class here in 2015.
A lot of scripts to write up, and also going on, a lot of going-ons here at St. Mary's Softball Stadium and Dixon Stadium in full use. Over at softball, we already had a no-hitter. We documented that in the first half. We'll talk about it a little bit again. Viana Gutierrez with a huge no-hitter in game 1 of their set. And then baseball going on right now. They lead William Jewell.
Yeah, 2-1. They've come back. They were down 1-0 most of the way. It looks like in the bottom of the bottom of the seventh, they scored 2 runs to go ahead. And softball following up a 7-0 no-hit victory with another 7-1 lead here late in game 2.
And then tomorrow, the big one. It's hashtag destroy the Beaks. It is Rattlers Cardinals one more time. And, well, Chad, I was talking with Brian, and out of the major sports, the major team sports, volleyball, basketball, soccer, softball, and baseball, it's the only time we'll see the quote-unquote Division I incarnate word Cardinals.
And this is the first for quite a while here. Ball stuck in the rim.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Bolton making it a quick sight.
And a shout out to the TAMIU family, actually bringing a lot of fans down here to Laredo, much like St. Mary's did last week up to St. Ed's, kind of spoiled their senior day festivities. TAMIU trying to do to St. Mary's. The women already making sure at least one half of the basketball equation not being spoiled here at Bill Gree Arena. The men trying to hold true here on the back end.
Nice shot. Good muscling in the lane by 21, Vidal Fennell. And Rattlers here, both men's and women's basketball punching their ticket to the Heartland tournaments. The women will be in Laredo next weekend. The men, well, with this game, it'll either be in Laredo or in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Either or seem like touristic summer destinations.
From a geographical standpoint, I think Rattler fans would rather go to Laredo than make the 8, 9, 10-hour drive to Fort Smith. I was on that trip last year at Fort Smith, and the guys actually decided they left Wednesday, spent the night in Dallas, kind of cut the trip in half, made the rest of the trip to Arkansas on Thursday, then played Friday, Saturday, and of course won the tournament. You got to think they might follow that same recipe if it's in Fort Smith. Laredo, you're talking about 2.5, 3-hour drive. Very, very family-friendly, fan-friendly down south.
Yeah, feasible for Rattler fans, but of course more on that as this weekend progresses. You can always stay tuned to RattlerAthletics.com. Foul on that play as Benny drives. 36-31 the score.
And incidentally, just to throw a little fuel on that fire for our foes and fans of other teams watching this, Rattlers, where did they win last year's conference tournament on the men's side? Fort Smith, Arkansas. The year before that, where did they win? Laredo, Texas. So Rattlers under this coaching staff of Jim Zelznak and Bubba Meyer having success at tournament time in both of those locations. Of course, this is a different team. You have a lot of seniors from those teams, most notably Kevin Kotzer, who's now playing in the NBA D-League, not out on this roster.
And he gets both of the free throws to go, 38-31. And it's one of the things I wrote about in Tovar's Take, RattlerAthletics.com last year, how that basketball team last year, how they were challenged winning on the road, and they won the tournament on the road. This team not as challenged on the road this year. They've been very good away from Bill Gree Arena, and they'll have to play their tournament outside of Bill Gree Arena, whether it be Laredo or Fort Smith. And either or, this team is primed. to play outside of friendly confines, and this team does it by committee. It's kind of been the story the entire year. There's no true leading scorer, there's no true leading rebounder, no true leading assist man. It's really been done by committee. You see tonight, you see Isaiah Matthews leading with 12, Wilson behind him with 8. Over in Austin, it was Marvin Binney leading the way in scoring. It was some big help from Monroe and Alexander. First free throw was good, so this team's one of those classic throwbacks to the days before constant coverage of a ball player with a masked face.
I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
But it won't be a black masked face any longer. It'll be a clear masked face. LeBron saying that he will indeed go back and comply with NBA and not wear the black mask. But that thing, the one game was pretty cool. Kind of like the headbandless LeBron in the finals last year.
Yeah, you know, anything that he does is news. I mean, he puts on some weird-looking shoes, and that makes news too. But not before the NBA makes money off of it. His face with that black mask already on T-shirts, already being sold on the Miami Heat store's website. So. And I'm sure they have photos being sold as a traveling violation is called on
Ryan Thomas. That was kind of a 4-on-1 underneath the basket there for Dust Devils as Thomas was trying to work his way to the basket. Now, you talked about this Rattler team and the committee, and that really is the story. Last year, it was almost the big three, the three seniors leading the way. Of course, Kevin Kotzer, a potential guy whose banner, retired number will be hanging here at Bill Green Arena one day, and those sharpshooters, DT, and Moses Ndufu. This year's team, much more of the committee approach. You got 4 or 5 big men, all kind of do the same thing. They'll come in there, good size, work their way, give you some points and rebounds. A very heavy guard-oriented play on this team, led tonight by Marvin Binney and the senior along the wing, Fred Wilson. But not 1 or 2 names that you could tell this team's story through. It really is a collection of about 10 or 11 guys.
And it'll be interesting to see what they'll do come tournament time, as the Rattlers have already clinched a spot and now are just waiting to buy a bus ticket to Arkansas or Laredo. Foul down low again, and it will belong to A&M International. Rattlers have struggled here in the opening minutes of the second half, of course. And I was talking about it in the first broadcast. I think A&M International has really become our new rival. For the last 3 or 4 years I've been covering Rattler athletics, A&M International through the major team sports have always given us a very good game and have always packed have attempted to pack our house. As another bucket falls for A&M International, and they are now within 4.
Yeah, for as natural of a rival as St. Edwards is, TAMIU definitely has a little bit more, I don't want to say the nasty flair to it, but a little bit more of the raucous. You see the bus full of fans here. You don't really get the bus full of fans from St. Ed's when we host them. But yeah, TAMIU has emerged as quite the rival, and I think it's because you have to tip your hat to the success that they've had in recent years. The basketball program's taken off. Softball's had some success in years past. Soccer for sure. And it's really an up-and-coming type program and a natural rival when you consider the location of the 2 team cities.
And then, of course, with Incarnate Word moving up and away, as another bucket falls, that is 34 Curtis Trotter. He brings the Dust Devils within 2. But I think geographical location, to me, it's just they've given us the best games. I mean, they've 2 years ago, we beat them over there for the men's basketball Heartland Conference title. I think the week before they were here. So we see them very often and in very high-stakes games.
And that's the key to any rivalry. I mean, look back at any sport, it's really the teams that match up at the key moments of the season. And that's where you get the rivalries born. You're absolutely right. These 2 teams have forged some important games over the years.
Indeed. Well, timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. Rattlers lead it by 2, 38-36. Stay with us. More upcoming on the Rattler Network. Welcome back, Rattler fans. 14:58 remaining. David Tovar, Chad Peters. Senior day for me also, Chad. Fred Wilson and then the 4 seniors on the women's Rattler team. Leah Kiowa, Catherine Galindo, Bria Bell, and Jackie Woods, but for oneself.
Yeah, I've kind of almost not wanted to recognize that. It's sad to think that you'll be moving on to greener pastures.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, though, it's none of this could have been possible these last 3 or 4 years without you. And,
thank you, sir.
We've gone from the days of Sounds from the Snake Pit to a full-fledged live internet broadcast
and
with
high
video,
definition.
And now in high definition, with Score Clock. And it's been a process, and we appreciate our Rattler fans sticking through it all these years. And let me tell you, the help of David Tovar, he's been the guy right there along our side over the years, and none of it could be made possible without him.
Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly, and thank you again for never firing me. I think that's something I'm sure I'm difficult to work with, and thanks, Rattler fans. Thanks for reading along on the columns. Thanks for following along on Twitter, on Facebook, and of course watching the Rattler Network become Rattler Network. And you think about the humble beginnings of International is looking to make this another beginning, as we're all even at 38-0-0. But yeah, we can. From Rattlers Live, Sounds of the Snake Pit, and all the way to Rattler Network and beautiful HD. One of our old friends, Mr. Scott Fonger, coming by today. It's not like he knew. Coming full circle, and the first thing out of his mouth was like, "Wow, love the HD."
And Rattler Network too. We'd be remiss not to even mention that. That made its debut last week. Yeah. And if you're watching us here on Rattler Network, baseball is up 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th over on the deuce, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so exciting times. Maybe an HD Rattler Network 2 coming in the future too. But exciting times for what we've done. It's what I love from my angle here is the Rattlers trying to bring home a second victory here at Bill Grahey Arena, but have gone a little sloppy here in the second half. Fred Wilson not able to end that. As TAMIU comes up with a loose rebound, but it's really exciting to be able to help you students and see you guys, your brother now working at ESPN, who is right there with us, Raul, through the start of this as well. Pivotal member, Robin Johnson, my assistant now, a full-time member of our athletics program, who all of our promotions go through her. Nothing would be possible on that end without her, seeing her work her way up from a graduate assistant student to the current position. And then the up-and-comers, the guys we have in the wings now, Joe and Brian, and you got Kayleen and everybody, Jasmine up in the booth. It's fun to see our team come forward and see you guys as students really blossom and flourish.
Oh yeah, it's been the craziest 3.5 years of my life. I had no idea what I was getting into. I think it's fair to say you had no idea what you were getting into as well, right?
Fair statement.
But yeah, it's been a blast, and I've worked with so many talented people. Yourself, probably at the top of the list, as that free throw is good for Clark. And I'm leaving this baby in good hands. Brian McGuion, up and coming, he's great. Joe Rodriguez, already one of the best. And the people I worked with, Mike Thompson, Scott Fonger, mentioned him. The list goes on. And here's the Oscar music to cut me off. 38-39 the score here. 13 and a half remaining in regulation. Would also be a fair statement to say this is probably going to go down to the wire.
Without a doubt. And from the Rattlers side of it, you almost want it to. A game like this shouldn't be easy. We saw on the women's side earlier, they were up big, double digits early. TAMIU came back. Last second shot, TAMIU could have won it. It goes to overtime. The ebb and the flow, as I always say, of that game. The Rattlers, you saw their heart really come out. And they I hate the cliche that they wanted it more. I think both teams equally wanted it, but the Rattlers were more successful when it counted. Yeah, and the men's team now, the same thing. They're going to have to dig deep and overcome a team. You got a big crowd support here from Laredo supporting them on, and the Rattlers are going up against a good team. They're going to have to bring it all here for the final 12 minutes. Yeah, it was a wild finish for the Lady Rattlers. They were trailing by 5 in their overtime, and they ended up leading by 5, ended up winning by 3, I believe. And here is a steal, Culliver all the way, and he gets that to go, much to the chagrin of the Rattler faithful, but to the delight of the visitors from Laredo. 43-40 the score now. And yeah, this game is cliche, but it's who wants it more. And really, if you're the Rattlers, you can start preparing for the ruckus crowd that will be at whatever tournament they're at. And like I said, almost a meaningless game when you look at the standings from St. Mary's perspective. I haven't looked at the standings since Thursday, but I believe Rattlers locked in as the number 3 seed no matter what. TAMIU and Fort Smith are the 1 and the 2s. I believe Permian Basin the number 4. So the Rattlers, it's pride, it's momentum, it's trying to make a statement against the top team in the conference. Those are the sorts of things at stake today. and I think you've seen it, but now you're seeing the talent of TAMIU emerge.
11:56 remaining. Time out on the floor. We'll take it with them, Rattler fans. Hold on to your seats. 43-40 the score. We'll be back. More on Rattler Network. Welcome back, Rattler fans. 11:56 remaining, and an update from baseball.
Yeah, baseball, it's the bottom of the 8th still. Rattlers with a man on second, one out, up 2-1 over William Jewell. St. Mary's ranked number 5 in the country on baseball. Over the softball stadium, about a tenth of a mile away from baseball, just right across the street. Number 12, St. Mary's softball up 9-1 over the Calumet College St. Joseph. So looking at a potential 5-run or 5-inning run rule there. The Rattlers trying to make it a perfect day. Women's basketball won, softball is won. Softball is probably going to win game 2. Baseball is on the verge of winning. Can basketball make it a 5-for-5 here on the campus of St. Mary's University?
About 11 minutes and change from finding out, at least in regulation. Here come International. They have been on a roll here as of late. They've gone on quite an offensive run. Monroe, Bolton, Pierce, Binney, and Alexander, the 5 on the floor in Rattler Gold. And the Rattlers do a good job there, forcing the turnover. And it'll be Rattler basketball.
And I've got to say, this is college basketball at its finest. It's the start of March. It is March Madness now.
We are
got the band going, a rowdy visiting fan base, 2 good basketball teams, a good home turnout here on Senior Day at Bill Grahey Arena. This is really what it's all about this time of year.
Yeah, it may not be royal blue and baby blue, but it's Rattlers and Dust Devils. To me, the new rivalry of the Heartland Conference. Bolton's pass deflected all the way into the stand, so Bolton will go and retrieve that. The entry pass deflected. Now here is the inbound. Binney drops it off, and Monroe fouled. Now that play where Monroe's almost going to dunk right there, it takes me back to last Saturday over in Austin. I mean, he threw it down and he posterized. Luckily, I can't remember the fellow's name because I would have said it. But he posterized one of the St. Edward's Hilltoppers, and then he hangs on the rim, but he gets called for the tee. But the thing is, I don't think he could get down. He had another human being lodged under him. It would have been tough to kind of get down. But I mean, what Monroe did last Saturday, just brought down the house. Had he connected on this dunk, would have done it, brought down the arena. First free throw from Monroe is good. Second is good, too.
And David, prior to those 2 free throws from Monroe, St. Mary's only 4 points here in the opening 9 minutes of the second half. Fred Wilson made that 3-pointer with 25 seconds left in the first half. That was their 36th point. Here they are stuck at 42. So you can tell TAMIU really picking it up defensively.
Yeah, they've done a great job, but much credit. There's Monroe. Huge rejection. And the crowd goes wild. Here's Binney driving, finds Pierce. And what's the call there? Offensive foul. Wow.
And Coach Z up off the bench, yelling at anyone who's willing to listen.
Anyone who dares make eye contact.
I'm convinced lasers come out of those things. I don't make direct eye contact from up here. I value my retinas too much, but.
Indeed, I'm surprised there's no holes in the on the court or the stomping that takes place. But another part, had a blast watching Coach Elsnack and his coaching methods the last couple of years. Always fun and proven successful. Championships galore. Going for a 3rd straight next weekend. Shot is off and the Rattlers have possession. Now Bolton working on the right side. Finds Monroe. Monroe keeping that pivot foot. Puts it on the ground. Right side of Pierce. Now Alexander. Spin, shoots. shot is short. Bolden trying to get the rebound. And it is finally corralled by Benny.
I want to see an open look three from Pierce. When he's in the game and he gets that shot, it's so pretty, so pure. It could change the game in a hurry.
A lot of J.J. Redick, and just a pure shooter, curls out and always at the right spot, right time. Did a great job in his first St. Mary's game on Saturday, first game away from the friendly confines. He was terrific. Also really did a good job in stifling the crowd noise with his threes. Alexander's free throw is no good. Now, I was talking earlier in the broadcast, Alexander really having to fill shoes that, frankly, are almost impossible to fill, but he's done a valiant effort this season. He's really become the premier big man on this team.
And Alexander, one of the coolest guys you'll really see on any team in the country. You'll find him under trees on campus reading the Bible. You know, when we went to the hospital during Christmas time to see sick children there, it's just such a touching time. Alexander defensively there, a big block. And he would go in after the team was done, and he would ask, is it okay if I read you a passage from the Bible and pray for you? And just a touching guy, someone who you see the leadership values in all walks of life from him.
And that really translates to the court. He is terrific. Full disclosure, one of my favorite Rattlers on this team. The length, and as you see, he does it on both sides defensively, altering and then blocking that shot. So we're all even here at 43 here, under 10 minutes to go. And how fitting on senior day. We have an overtime thriller in the women's game. And, well, if my calculations are correct, I'm going to predict that we're going toward the same route here with the men. Now Wilson able to corral that. Good defense here by the Rattlers. Wilson, Pierce, Finney, Monroe, and Alexander. 5 on the floor and Rattler gold. Here's the three from Pierce from way downtown. No good. Shot a little too strong. A&M International with the numbers. And it's an offensive foul, and the referees did a good job there drumming up the dramatic effect.
Yeah, Benny did a great job setting that up.
Two guys, Alexander not giving up on that play, trying to chase it down, and then Benny staying in front of that play and sacrificing his body. And as you mentioned, this game has no real effect on the standings, and yet these guys are playing like it's a championship. Talking to Coach Barnes after the game, he said, I wanted you girls to play like you're playing for the championship. And I think the men are following suit. Here's Benny, stops, dishes out to Wilson. Oh, up and under, almost got that to go.
And that's the thing, you're going to see TAMIU at their hungriest right now because they are playing for the right to host the tournament. Winning or losing this could be the difference. And I haven't gone through all the mathematical equations since it doesn't really impact us that greatly. We're not hosting. But looking at TAMIU's website, it seems like if they win this game, they have the tiebreakers over Fort Smith.
And home court, of course, so important in pretty much any team sport. As Wilson gets the first free throw to go. The Rattlers have had to do it on the road for the last couple of years, so I think to them it's just business as usual. They were so cool on Saturday afternoon up in Austin. So if you're a Rattler fan, you can rest assured and be pretty confident this team can handle a road game. And what this has essentially turned out to be kind of a neutral site game. Much credit to our visitors from Laredo. Wilson gets both and double figures on his senior day. 10 points for number 32. Here comes A&M International.
Baseball's extended its lead to 3-1 over William Jewell. Matt McLean with 8 strikeouts. He's out of the game now. The closer, Adrian Garcia, is in. 32 strikeouts over the last 3 starts for Matt McLean, who last week had that no-hitter.
And the no-hitter bug has seemed to spread. Second one in about, 8 days?
7 days to the day, yeah. Last Saturday was when McLean had his.
Yeah, come check out baseball and softball. They have been terrific, both in the top 15 in the nation. Baseball at 5, softball at 12. It's going to be some fun times come spring. Rattlers come up with a loose ball here. Now Bryce Smith. Bryce Smith has really come on. Really filling the role as the backup point guard. So steady, such an even-keel guy right there. The referee kind of in the way of that play there, but it'll stay with the Rattlers.
It is good for Fred Wilson, his mom in town, to watch this. He's a Seattle native. 10-point effort for him. Typically a bench guy, but getting the start today on senior day.
Oh, and Fred Wilson's one of those Swiss Army knives. I mean, he can do everything. He's athletic enough to defend the best player on the other team. You see him on offense. He gets up and under, and Alexander turns that one over. Quickly a foul in transition. Foul on the Rattlers, timeout on the floor, 7:45 remaining, 45-43 the score. Stay with us, Rattler fans, more upcoming from Bill Grigiarino. Welcome back, Rattler fans. 7:45 remaining. David Tovar, Chad Peters with you. Only fitting we finish out the regular season. Senior day for all over the place, even all the way in the athletics office. Rattlers lead by 2, and a quick foul after the break. It'll be against number 40, Isaiah Matthews. That is his third. Matthews really come on, 12 points in a starting effort. Played with some foul trouble, and he'll hit the bench at the next dead ball as Monroe's ready to check in. Oh, good play there by Matthews, hitting the arm, extending. And Matthews and Monroe, you marvel about their athleticism, but over the course of the last 3 years, they've done a great job improving in all facets of the game. Defensively, rebounding, their footwork in the post, you're seeing it right there. Matthews almost on cue.
Yeah, Matthews is a guy that could go off on any night. He's done it tonight, 14 points. He struggles with some matchups, so they tend to kind of go with the other guys in his spot. But he's one of those guys that's given him those 20-point type games a couple times this year. And he's in that form again today.
And Alexander hits the deck. It'll be a foul on the Rattlers, defensive foul. That will put Jordan Clark at the line.
The Matthews and Monroe, both guys who are the age of seniors. They redshirted their freshman year, so they are both redshirt juniors, but 4-year Rattlers. They'll be 5th-year guys next year. They're using that age and wisdom, experience to their credit.
And they've really done a great job developing Matthews, the native of Texas City, Texas, and Joe Monroe, hailing from San Antonio Stevens. San Antonio Stevens producing great athletes for St. Mary's. JP, last year Jonathan Perez, one of the great Rattler closers. Rene Solis, Rattler ace, and then Joe Monroe, a dunk artiste. That one free throw is good, 47-44.
And you'll see it right now. What's so fun when they put Monroe in the game is he'll give them about 3 to 4 minutes of just ultra energy. He's that high energy guy. He'll crash the glass and make an impact somehow. And he's come a long way. Earlier in his career, he'd come in maybe a little bit erratic. You didn't know, would there be too much negative? Knows the system so well. He's dependable, reliable now. And so that athleticism can really showcase itself.
There's Monroe, top of the key. Trying to drop that off. Bryce Smith doing a great job recovering. Now he's trapped. That's an errant pass, trying to get that away. And it ends up in the hands of the Dust Devils. In transition now. Culver for 3. Down to the wire, folks. You weren't lying.
And Culver making the Rattlers pay for a bad mistake on one end. You saw Smith kind of struggle to get back on the other end. Culver ended up getting a clean look and making the Rattlers pay.
Timeout taken. We'll stay with you. 47-47. We'll head out to Dixon Stadium.
Yeah, we are. We have a final over there. Number 5, St. Mary's winning it 3-1, bouncing back from last night's kind of a crushing defeat to Williamsville. They lost 4-3.
Definitely not one you pencil in.
And you were waiting for the Rattler bats to get going. It just seemed like one of those nights where they're going to get the game-winning hit. You're kind of gotten spoiled and accustomed to seeing that. It never came last night, but they did get the big hits late in the 8th inning today, and they do prevail and get the win.
And they atone for yesterday's win. They'll be back in action tomorrow at noon, finishing up a 3-game series with William Jewell. And then over at softball, it looks like they're well on their way to win their second in a row.
9-3, top of the 4th. Calumet College St. Joseph getting a little bit going offensively here. 2 runners on, but you would think the Rattlers safe there with that big of a run gap or differential here.
Yeah, we'll be prepping ourselves for tomorrow's game beginning, it's a doubleheader beginning at 1. Hashtag destroy the Beaks. Who came up with that hashtag?
That was Robin.
Rob, nice. Nice. Destroy the Beaks.
And if you haven't caught on the craze yet, hashtag Fangs Out.
Hashtag Fangs Out. T-shirts hopefully coming soon. But as always, stay tuned to our social media hubs. Twitter.com/St. Mary's Rattlers. Instagram @St. Mary's Rattlers. You can find both at St. Mary's Rattlers. Facebook.com/St. Mary's Rattlers. And of course, RattlerAthletics.com. Back to Buddy and Annemeyer Court. 47-all as we approach 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Benny has checked back in along with Bolton. They join Monroe, Thomas, and Pierce. 10 seconds on this shot clock for Benny and the Rattlers. Here's Benny going to take up a wild shot. Oh no, he dumps it off. Great court vision. Marvin Benny, he's one of those hybrid point guards, reminiscent of a Derrick Rose, of a Russell Westbrook. He's so athletic, he could probably play 2 guard, but it's that court vision that has him orchestrated the offense for St. Mary's.
And he's a little taller than you think on the court. I think he doesn't look as tall on the court, but he's a solid 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, it definitely poses problems for opposing guards, and maybe a little similar to Lam Autry from a couple years ago. He's one of those tall point guards, 6'3", 6'4", really posed a lot of problems. Part of the first Harlan Conference Championship of the last, in way of a three-peat. So Monroe, top of the key, finds Benny on the left side. Now Pierce, 15 on the shot clock. Over to Bolton, has a good look. Over to Benny. Now down low is Thomas. Working, spins, shoots. Almost got that to go. He stays with it. What a play. That's a man's play.
Yeah, that was nice. At the start of the season, Ryan Thomas was probably the guy the coaching staff really liked from that post position, and you see it. He's still a first-year guy. I think next year you're really going to see him take off, but the Utah native manning up right there on that basket.
And a timeout taken by the Dust Devils. Down by 2, 30-second timeout. Anything else we need to plug, Chad? We got our social media site. We got our official website.
Yeah, on RattlerAthletics.com. If you haven't already, be sure to sign up for the SMS text message updates. We want to be coming to you, Rattler fans, 24/7.
Yes.
We'll be tweeting at you, Facebooking at you, text messaging you.
In your sleep.
Yeah, maybe making late-night calls even if necessary. So
cook breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, providing all of the Rattler updates you possibly need. It's right there on RattlerAthletics.com. The top right row of icons, you'll see something that looks like a phone. You can sign up there. We also plugged it on our Facebook feed yesterday, so you can go down and see the image there as well.
And of course, RattlerGear.com.
Yeah, we got some Rattler Gear polos, I think, in attendance up here today.
So that's RattlerGear.com. You can buy shirts, apparel, knickknacks. Still trying to find out what knickknacks are exactly. I think I have an idea in my head.
Got some knickknacks in my office. Got a business card holder.
Okay. Oh, okay. Those are knickknacks.
Some magnets on the filing cabinets. So things like that.
Knickknacks defined. So 2-point lead for the Rattlers after that foul. That will put Jonell Gray at the line. 4:05 remaining. And what is shaping up to be another good one, and Gray's free throw takes some high hops. Does not fall in. And Rattlers with a rebound. That will bring us to our media timeout. Rattler fans, stay with us. 3:45 remaining in the second half. You're watching all the action on the Rattler Network. Welcome back, Rattler fans. 3:45 remaining in regulation. A close ball game, just as we forecasted. 51-49 the score. Monroe going for the lob, and it is batted away. A&M International dodging a bullet there, as that could have been disastrous for A&M International. Trying to regroup is Jefferson. Drops it off to Clark. Now Culliver on the left side, met by Benny. Thomas, and he will be hit with that foul. Fourth foul on Ryan Thomas. Both teams in the bonus. That will put Culliver at the line. That free throw is no good, and the Rattlers there catch a good break as Bolton comes down with the rebound. Rattlers here with a 2-point lead, and it really feels like control of this game. They're trying to get a good offensive possession going here. Bolton over to Benny. Thomas with the screen. Benny trying to drop it off. Slips, stumbles, and out of bounds.
Yeah, the offense isn't as bad as it was to start the half, but still not exactly fluid at this point. We've seen a travel, a forced turnover there in the corner a few possessions ago that led to a TAMIU 3, and then that turnover right there.
Yeah, I was watching one of those pregame shows on national TV, and they were talking about one of the games, and they talked about how first one to 50 was going to win. It could be the same thing here. It's been a defensive heavy match, and whoa, that's a shot that I think a lot of people would get an H in horse with. 51 even.
You see Marvin Benny trying to settle down the offense here, get the play they want.
Two big screens there. Now Bolton. Looking and finding Benny. Now Matthews. Shot clock approaching 10. Bolton making the move. Left side. Good defense. Now here's Clark on the run. And a technical foul is called on Coach Zelznak.
Wow.
Stopping the offensive play. I don't know if you're in International, I mean, you'll take it, but you stop a fast break, but they'll get some free throws out of this. And he didn't go full Boeheim, but a little justified. I mean, there's a lot of contact on the Bolton drive, the possession previous.
Well, we've seen Coach Z hot on a couple of plays this half. I guess he'd had enough at that point.
Yeah, he gets burnt on this one. First free throw is good.
So 2 free throws and possession.
Wilson about to check back in. Rattlers catch another break there.
The ball don't lie, a wise man once said.
That's right.
So maybe that technical only half true.
So one of the most fined men in NBA history. 52-51 the score as we approach the 2-minute warning. And the final act of Rattlers Dust Devils Part 2 on this Saturday afternoon. Clark with the inbound to Culliver Jr. Binney, Bolton, Wilson, Matthews, and Monroe. 5 on the floor in Rattler gold. Here's Jefferson. An offensive foul!
Wow, Joe Monroe drawing the foul. And on the top of the key there, Fred Wilson fell to the ground, slipped.
Yeah, that's one of those disaster averted. You see Wilson slipping and the play's done for. Monroe able to be right place, right time, draws the charge. And you talk about Monroe, high energy guy. He's going to give you his all when he's out there. That's leaving it all on the floor in its literal definition.
Yeah, he's really a guy. Every sequence he's in the game, you're either going to see a charge drawn, a dunk, or a hard rebound.
Yeah.
One of those 3 things he's going to do. It's the kind of player he is.
Rattlers now trail by 1. They've led by as many as 7 in this ball game, but that was in the first half, which was almost centuries ago, the way this game's developed. Here's Binney. Jumper's good. And Marvin Binney, last week over at St. Edward's, had some huge buckets down the stretch, some big free throws. I think he went 4 of 4 at the end of regulation with 3.3 remaining, and then in overtime.
And you might have seen Marvin Binney's Twitter account blow up last night as he dives for this loose ball. It will remain TAMIU possession. The Rattler athletes just going bananas last night in support of Marvin Binney. And the story behind that at the William Jewell College game, after the game, all the baseball players were tweeting him for being such a great fan, saying Marvin Binney's the best Rattler fan, all this stuff. It's because throughout the game, he was kind of heckling the other team.
Yeah.
But all good fun, all clean, and that's always the key.
Yeah.
Much like you see the TAMIU fans here and the Rowdy Rattlers, you give the other team some grief, but there's a line. He didn't draw the line.
Yeah.
Well, the dad of one of the players didn't like it, got in his face late in the game, and he did not do anything. He put his hands up, backed off. Administrators came in, separated the father from him. And hats off to him because that's a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah,
you have a grown man coming at you, threatening you, getting in your face. To be able to restrain yourself, back away. Props to Marvin Binney for the way he handled himself.
Especially nowadays that, just recently we saw interaction between player and fan. And
big story a couple weeks ago with that,
So big ups to Marvin Binney. And hey, as a huge Rattler fan on a quote-unquote business trip up in Austin, I was a fan myself, and it was all in good fun and had a blast. Being a fan is probably the essence of sports.
And Binney is a Canadian.
Yeah.
And Canadians are nice. So.
Shout out to the T-Dot. Shout out to Canada. Jumper by Jefferson. It is off the mark. Rebound by Clark. It won't count, and the foul in that roar you hear and you see on the top right of your screen is a contingency from Laredo. Huge bucket there as we're having fun in the booth, but not right now as Clark has given the Dust Devils the lead momentarily with a chance to add on one more.
Yeah, the offensive rebound paving the way for that opportunity.
Big time offensive board. And I think Clark wants it wiped down a little bit.
Joe Monroe throws his arms up in the air. I can't believe this.
You would think he'd be wearing a mask with all the treatment. The number 23 is on his jersey, so now they wipe it down. Give the fans.
If the referee comes over and ties his shoelaces in a minute, something is definitely up to that rate. But
indeed. Hopefully no shenanigans. Will there be court storming? We also forgot to take a prediction on that. Shot no good. Oh, maybe that extra time. Get a little icing the free throw shooter. Timeout is taken by Binney and the Rattlers. 54-53 the score. Force across the board. 44.4 remaining.
And win or lose, What a fun outing of basketball this has been. Both the women's and men's games coming down to the wire. Of course, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a little more fun if the guys win this
absolutely.
one. But still, nonetheless, the heart beating, the hair standing up on our arms, broadcasting and watching this game. I love the fans dancing to the band right now. People into this from all angles.
Yeah,
TAMIU brought their cheerleaders.
You know, and I earlier at the half, I teased our friends from Laredo, but a lot of credit, a lot of props. They've been lively all game. They're terrific fans. To our viewers in Laredo, shout out to you guys. You guys have terrific fans who made the trip. Very classy and a lot of fun, and they have really given the Dust Devils a huge boost of energy as we are down here in the final stretch, 54-53 the score. And before we go any further, win or lose, it's a blast. Chad, thank you so much for jumping on. I know you got 100 things on your plate, and really, this man, he was singing my praise earlier, but it's really the guy who deserves credit. I mean, it would take an entire softball tournament weekend to list all the things this guy does. But thanks for jumping on the second half. Thanks so much for Brian McGluion for allowing this little reunion, of course, to take place. But now, here we go, the main entree. 44.4 remaining. Inbound goes to Matthews. Binney, Bolton, Monroe, and Wilson in Rattler Gold. I think here with so much time, you just got to get a good shot.
Yeah.
Binney on the left side. Matthews posting. Shot clock approaching 10, so they've got to hurry and look for this good shot. Here's Bolton. Tough shot. It won't count. So it won't be a continuation. I believe he'll go to the line because it is the Rattlers in the bonus. But my, oh my, not exactly, I'm sure, what Coach drew up. But
and you see Coach with the arms folded and kind of the head cockeyed a little bit. I don't think that's the play.
Not at all. But Bolton, huge shot there. It won't count, but he'll go to the line. Let's see what he does here. Oh, first free throw is good, and Bolton shoots around the 60s and as far as free throw percentage, so able to knock down the first one's huge.
And you got to like the fan placement right now if you're a Rattler fan. You got the St. Mary's Rowdy Rattlers behind the basket that TAMIU is shooting into. You've got the TAMIU fan base in the far left corner away from these free throws that St. Mary's is shooting into. So he doesn't make both. He only ties the game, but not impacted by the fans screaming there.
54 all. Timeout is called. And my, oh my.
Hit your front iron on that last one.
Yeah.
A little bit short there.
It's almost like you drew up the games like this. Grand finale of the 2013-14 season here at home. And you get two good thrillers. It's going to be a lot of fun to write these game stories.
Yeah, that's the thing, because they have to end. Are we sure we can't just host the tournament here? This is a lot of fun. You know?
Yeah, we used to do that, didn't we?
We gladly welcome TAMIU back next week.
Yeah,
this has been a lot of fun.
From the fans to the team to the quality of the games. I mean, this could easily have been a 20-point blowout. One team's having a bad day, but the fans and how good this game is, I mean, it makes for a great atmosphere. And remember, Rattler fans, always next year, check us out, Bill Gree Arena, open for business for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, part of the beautiful new park at St. Mary's, of course, highlighted really in all of its full glory today. You got a softball stadium at the park, Dixon Stadium and Gree Arena, all going on simultaneously.
Yeah, it's really going to be fun next season when soccer kicks off. We got
with new coach Mike Pinelli, and I'll tell you, that guy is a worker.
Oh yeah,
we're over there in the softball tournament. We're working till midnight some of those nights. We had a game start at 10 o'clock, and he's over there burning the midnight oil in his office. So
yeah,
it was like, Mike, you've been here the whole tournament. Don't you ever leave?
Yeah,
but that guy works his tail off, and it will be a huge asset to our men's soccer program.
Oh yeah, cannot wait to see men's soccer. Again, full disclosure, one of my favorite sports. So can't wait to see what they bring to the table next season. Here back inside Bill Gree Arena, 18.7, all even at 54. Rattlers and Dust Devils.
If you're TAMIU, you got to figure they're taking the final shot here.
Under 10 seconds, now approaching 5 seconds. This is Jefferson Jr. defended by Wilson. The tough jumper, no good. Ball batted around. And, well, lo and behold, we are going to overtime again. If you weren't breathless enough, folks, you're going to join us for another session of Rattlers and Dust Devils.
And Russ, as only Russ can, notifying the crowd of a light or a flash going on. But anyway, yeah, overtime basketball here. It is a little bit of deja vu there.
Yeah, I feel like we just did one of these.
It's funny, you talk about like how great this internet age is, and with so many of the teams in the Heartland Conference providing live broadcasts and stuff these days. We're setting up, Robin and I, over at the baseball stadium as the women's game went into overtime, and all of a sudden the press box just paused as you all called the final 30 seconds of that game, and it went to overtime just on the edge of our teeth, or on the edge of our seats. And it's cool how this allows us all to see all of this action at all times, and some good action being brought forth today by both teams.
Oh yeah, and you talk about all the coverage that we do, live stats going on all over the place for baseball that wrapped up. Softball, I believe, is still going, and now basketball, and of course live video here inside Bill Gree Arena. Well, hopefully you guys in the last 30 seconds to a minute were able to grab some chips, grab some soda. I don't know how quick you can make a sandwich, but that's what I probably would have been doing at home. And it'll be the same five on the floor that ended this game. Monroe, Matthews, Wilson, Bolton, and Binney. Five on the floor beginning for the Rattlers here in overtime. For A&M International, it'll be Fanale, Clark, Jefferson, Culliver, and Fareed. And the Rattlers win the tip here. This is overtime of the Rattlers and Dust Devils. David Tovar, Chad Peters with you for Rattler Network. Wilson, count it, and the foul.
And the fiery Wilson, excited after that one. It looked like a little bit of a forced shot when he took it. Kind of an awkward angle, but man, hitting that from the elbow. And an opportunity here to give the Rattlers their biggest lead in a while if they push this to three.
I don't want to play horse with Fred Wilson if he's shooting like that. Big time jump shot, and he has a chance to add one more at the line. Count it, 57-54, and his whole family, as you mentioned, from Seattle in the front row, they had the best seats in the house for that jump shot. There's something they're very, very used to. Big year for Seattle. Big year for Wilson. And for another Wilson in Seattle. Here come the Dust Devils. They're trying to respond. The crowd quieted, at least momentarily. And the Rattlers corral that rebound. Good defensive stand by St. Mary. The Rattlers are going to try to take all the drama out of this overtime. Here's Binney, another jumper. Takes a couple bounces, no good, and it'll stay with the Rattlers.
And we saw Binney hit that shot earlier in the game. Only 7 points tonight, but as you said, a guy who can impact the game in so many different ways, kind of that quasi-point guard, but can play multiple positions.
Yeah, Binney, who can really play maybe all the way up to three here in college, but great point guard. Has done a great job handling the ball and entertained by the side. Great fan support. You might see him on your screen. Great fan support. I mean, this is one of those games. Here's Monroe. Shot is short, no good.
I believe Monroe has some of his fraternity brothers here. One of the guys is standing up, and they are on the almost the edge of their seats, except they're standing when he shoots the ball.
I would say the 3 or 4 of them here have done a good job counteracting the entire Laredo contingency. They are full of energy and full of funk.
And I think you see some of that with Joe, just the passionate kind of player he is. That's the way he brings, and his friends and family respond to that energy that he provides.
2 minutes into this overtime, Rattlers lead it by 3 off the Wilson three-point play. Here's Monroe, another chance. He's posting. He is tripped up, and that'll be a foul on the Dust Devils.
TAMIU almost trying to pull the chair from him.
And here's a technical foul. It will go against the coaching staff of A&M International.
And that's a biggie.
Yeah.
Is that going to be 4 free throws? Or how?
It could potentially be. It could be, I would assume, more than 2 because there is still a foul both teams are in the bonus. And then the technical, we'll see what the referees do here, but
not the best timing for a technical. And you go back to the technical that St. Mary's had late in the half, how huge it went for the Rattlers as Benny gets the first. If you recall, on the back end, that's a potential 4-point swing, but the Dust Devils only got 1 point out of that sequence. They went 1 for 2 at the free throw line and did not get any points on the ensuing possession.
Well, here Benny goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line, and now Monroe will head to the line. So you're absolutely right. It looks like it will be at least 3 free throws. No, they're going to call it 1-on-1. They're going to call it a 2-shot foul. So it'll be 4 free throws here. Let's see if the Rattlers can at least get 2 of the 4. Best case, 3 of the 4. But yeah, I mean, not the best time to pull a behind. There's Monroe. First free throw is good. And one thing I've really seen out of the last couple of weeks, these Rattler players so poised in these crunch moments. Oh, Monroe just almost like velvet, getting both to go. 3 minutes remaining in overtime. Oh, ball's loose. They're going to say it was tipped. Culliver count the shot and the foul, and Culliver looks over to the St. Mary's side of the crowd. A little bit of jawing there. He'll go to the line, and well, you can jaw when you make a big-time shot like that. 60-56 to score.
An update from the softball field. The Rattlers leading St. Joseph 11-3 now in the bottom of the 5th, so that might just do it. That might be a final over there with the run rule.
Free throw no good there for Culliver as the Rattlers have possession. So St. Mary's now moves to 2-0 on this weekend, and they'll look to improve that against Incarnate Word Manana. Timeout called, and Coach Zelznak wants to rethink the strategy here.
And it is a final at softball, 11-3, so they win those 2 combined games by a score of 18-3. So they improved to 21-4 on the season. They had a 14-game winning streak snapped by number 25, I believe, Angelo State. They came back to rout them in game 2, so now they have a 3-game winning streak. They've won 17 of their last 18. It's a remarkable job, and of course Donna Fields has coached championship teams before. She's been on a championship team, national championship team in '86, and then coached the Rattlers to the title in '02.
And then it's had a stranglehold on the Harding Conference. I mean, 12 of the last 13 titles. That's just ridiculous. You got to ban them from the league, would be what I would say if I was an opposing fan. 2:35 remaining in overtime. Rattlers lead it 60-56. Looking to go 5 for 5 on this Super Saturday. Got baseball with the win. Softball picks up 2 wins. Lady Rattlers basketball picks up a win. That's 4 of 5. And just waiting here on men's basketball. It'll be Bolton inbounding. He looks and finds Benny. Benny with possession using the screen. Albert Monroe, top of the key. Fakes back to Benny. Now here is Benny. Stop, pop, jumper's good. Marvin Benny, big jumper there. And he gets that shot to fall. Benny with 8 points on the afternoon. Some big free throws earlier in this overtime and some big play throughout the stretch. Foul on the play, it'll be on Wilson. And Wilson pleading his case. 13 points on the afternoon for Fred Wilson, including 3 big ones here at the start of overtime. They'll put Kevin Jefferson Jr. at the line. First free throw is good. Second free throw is good too. 62-58 the score. So now in the 2-minute warning. 4-point game. A little reminiscent of regulation. 2-minute warnings when things started cooking. Here's Wilson's jumper. Shot no good. Ball still alive, and it is corralled by Jefferson and the Dust Devils. Now here's Culliver driving all the way to the basket. It counts. It will count, and the foul, and just like that, the Dust Devils are within 2.
And what a sequence there. TAMIU doing a great job of attacking the basket, forcing these and one opportunities. We've seen it already a couple of times.
Wait, they're not going to count the basket.
Big break for St. Mary's.
Yeah, huge break there. So we'll change the scoreboard here. So basket will not count, and that's an even bigger break as the first free throw is no good.
And quickly, a tennis update from Midland, Texas, where the Rattlers and Lady Rattlers played host Texas Permian Basin. The women prevailing 9-0, the men winning 9-0. So that's 27 in a row for Mariana Rong in singles action.
And of course, tennis also nationally ranked. So just a litany of success for St. Mary's. And the famous words of one broadcaster, we stacked. Here is Bolton, now Monroe, under 90 seconds remaining. Rattlers up by 3. Wilson over to Bolton. We saw Bolton makes a tough jumper. Here's Wilson in space. Driving, he's held up. Bolton's gonna have to put it up. Tough shot. Does not draw iron, and the rebound comes out to the Dust Devils as we approach 60 ticks.
Looked like a nice pass from Wilson over to Bolton, but the defender for TAMIU able to recover.
Oh, big miss there. Rebound out to Binney, and he is impeded, and it'll be a defensive foul on Culliver. Big time play there by Binney to at least be in the vicinity of the ball to try to corral it. He'll end up at the line, and Binney, one of the sure-handed free throw shooters for St. Mary's, especially in the clutch.
And Binney's had his fingerprints all over this game from about the 4-minute mark of the regulation on.
So MB at the line. First one is good. 11 points for him on the afternoon. Done a great job commanding the offense. A prolific scorer. 2 free throws are good for Binney. 53 seconds remain. 5-point lead for St. Mary's, and a timeout is called. 64-59 the score. Here in overtime, David Tovar, Chad Peters with you. We remind you, Rattler fans, to check us out on social media, facebook.com/St. Mary's Rattlers. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at St. Mary's Rattlers. Follow this broadcaster online at Tovar's Take, TOVARSTAKE, Tovar's Take. I'm on Twitter, as is the column on RattlerAthletics.com. 64-59 the score. 50 seconds remaining. And well, Chad, we talked about it. Maybe not even midway through the second half. This was going to go down to the wire.
It had to.
It's been everything. It's been everything we thought it'd be. And it's still very much alive for the Dust Devils. Dump off to Culliver for 3. That shot no good. Clark with the rebound. He had a huge win in regulation. And he is fouled.
Yeah, Clark has been huge for TAMIU.
Yeah, Clark. He is fouled, and he'll head back to the line. So it looks like it'll be the 5th foul on Matthew. That's also pretty huge.
And the Rowdy Rattlers have a chant they love to do to opposing players wearing number 23 of "You're Not Jordan." I don't know if they would do that to this guy.
Yeah, Clark is he's been Jordan-esque in the clutch here. He's got the Jordan hairdo, but the Harden-esque beard. Nonetheless, he has been terrific. 15 points on the afternoon for Clark. First free throw is good. Appropriately named Jordan Clark. symmetrical.
So if they did, you're not Jordan, he could stop the game and say, actually.
Yeah, that's actually incorrect. Second free throw, no good. And ball is out of bounds. It will be Rattler basketball. 4-point lead, 64-60 the score.
And along with that theme, but it is number 1 wearing the Jordans on the court for
Indeed.
the Dust Devils.
Here's Pierce. His Travis is going to call a timeout. And that's wise. You don't want to see an errant pass. You want to throw it away. So timeout is taken by the St. Mary's Rattlers. 64-60 the score. St. Mary's leads over A&M International. You're watching the action here on Rattler Network. Welcome to Bill Greer Arena in San Antonio, Texas. David Tovar joined by Chad Peters. In this broadcaster's last home basketball game as an undergrad. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me, Chad.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. A special hello to our audience in Laredo, Texas. Special hello to our guests from Laredo, Texas. You can see on the top right corner of your screen. You guys came out in droves and really have made it an entertaining ball game. Rattlers looking to make it a sour ride home.
And again, for anyone tuning in, your last broadcast as an undergrad is so huge to the production over the years, and it's been fun seeing you grow. You know, the internship with the Dallas Cowboys a few years ago, currently part-time helping out with the Express News, local newspapers. So it's been fun watching that, and it'll be more fun to watch your continued progression.
Oh, thank you so much, sir, and you're a huge piece to that. And not the way Coach Selzak drew that play up. That one goes out of bounds behind the Rattler bench. And now Ryan Thomas checking in. So the Dust Devil defense doing its job.
We're trying to look for a positive. I guess you could say at least some clock ran off.
A little bit, but
that is reaching.
Here come the Dust Devils. Here's Jefferson working against Wilson. The jumper is good. And that is anything but positive here for your Rattler fan. A huge three-pointer. Now the Rattlers got to get it in bounds. Oh, huge bailout there for St. Mary's, because that would have been a layup for A&M International. Ryan Thomas will head to the line, and these are some big free throws after Jefferson hits a huge three-pointer. So that sour bus ride will have to take a bit of a seat for right now. Rattlers still, as I mentioned earlier, Dust Devils still very much alive, and they are right in the thicket. Down one. Here's Thomas's first free throw. Off the front iron.
And a huge basket is now International the chance to potentially win it on a three-pointer.
It is a one-possession game either way, make or miss. Here's Thomas. Knocks it down. How cool was that? Huge noise, huge road contingency, and he knocks down the second after missing the bad one off the front iron. Here we go, 17.3. They're going full court, and a timeout is called. Jefferson and the Dust Devils will take a timeout here. 13.2 remaining, 65-63 the score.
Just when you think St. Mary's has enough breathing room to put this team away, they had, a 6-point lead with about 3 minutes left. But you saw a couple of and-one opportunities, a lot of attacking of the basket from the Dust Devils to keep themselves in this game. Really the turning point potentially, that errant pass, kind of cross-court pass Joe Monroe could not track down that went into the St. Mary's bench. You talk about a lost possession, a huge lost possession, because you figure TAMIU would for sure have been fouling. Maybe you make at least one of those free throws. But instead, here you are, a 2-point lead, 13.2 seconds left in this game.
Yeah, that lost possession found by Jefferson after that three. And Ryan Thomas goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. 65-63. 13.2 remaining. Here are the Dust Devils to inbound. Jefferson with possession, under 10 seconds, working against Wilson again. It is swiped by Thomas, and that is Curtis Trotter coming up with a big bucket, all even at 65, no timeout. Biddy's gonna have to take it, shoots, and we're going to double overtime. They don't want to let me go home. Hey, I'll stay right here with you guys. We are going to double overtime. What a game.
And this, we haven't really talked about this yet, but And this is how these two teams play each other. The game in Laredo earlier this year, triple overtime. So these two teams, they just can't get enough of each other.
Yeah, and they'll be seeing more of each other in the tournament. We're going to take a little breather. We're going to give you a chance to grab, this time your favorite adult beverage, and some chips and some food because it's getting good. 65 all, double overtime next. Welcome back, fans. Rattlers and Dust Devils now in double overtime. David Tovar, Chad Peters live from Bill Griehe Arena in San Antonio, Texas. The Rattlers win the tip once again. It'll be Monroe, Thomas, Bolton, Wilson, and Benny, the five on the floor for St. Mary's. For the Dust Devils, it'll be Culliver, Jefferson, Trotter, Clark, and Donaldson. Those are the 10 on the floor. What a good game, 65 all. And you mentioned it during the break, Chad. You dropped some truth bombs on our watchers as Bolton not able to make that jumper. The last time these two teams met on January the 18th over in Laredo, this was a triple overtime affair that the Rattlers pulled out 87-85. When it comes to these two teams, there are no winners, just survivors, and they'll have to meet again in the conference tournament set to take place next week. Here's Clark. His shot no good. Rebounded by Donaldson. It is stripped, and it will stay with the Dust Devils.
The International doing a great job of these second chance opportunities. And that's what sent it to double overtime here. It was a second chance opportunity with 5 seconds left at the end of for the first overtime.
So now a quick substitution here by the Dust Devils. Clark limping off the court. Not a good sign for A&M International.
Looks like maybe a cramp.
Yeah, gonna stretch it out and maybe get a little bit of an extra breather. This game ain't going anywhere. Here is Culliver, and he is stripped. Wilson comes up with the loose ball, and now the Rattlers with a huge possession here. Culliver down the stretch has been very good for the Dust Devils. Obscure turnover, and Thomas with the English.
And this game is kind of, of course, I have softball in the brain of late, the international tiebreaker with all these tournaments. It seems like, what's the equivalent of for basketball to put a runner at second base in the 8th inning? We might need to be getting to that point here soon where...
Yeah, just call technicals on the coaches and just have it be a free throw relay. But you're absolutely right. I mean, the way these two teams play, this is the 5th overtime between these two teams this season. Here's Culliver, Donaldson, and he is fouled. Minimal contact compared to what we've been seeing throughout the day, but it will end up with Jamal Donaldson at the line.
Yeah, it's Ryan Thomas's 5th.
So now this is the second Rattler big who has fouled out.
Yeah, Isaiah Matthews did earlier. We've still got Justin Alexander on the bench. Jared Anthony also has not been in the game. Monroe only has 2 fouls, so the other half of that big man equation not in too bad a jeopardy, but Alexander comes in with 4. So you're 1 foul away from being down to only Jared Anthony, who really has not seen much playing time this season, or being forced into the more likely scenario of maybe playing a smaller lineup.
And they might have to go small. You have Pierce, maybe Smith, Efe AK, also one of the bigs.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So he would be the next guy up. And I wasn't up here for some of the first half. Did he get any playing time today? Has he been out there?
I've not seen him in this game. So it's going to be truly a fresh guy off the bench. And both free throws are missed. That's a bad break. Been breaking bad throughout this game, depending on what side you're rooting for. But
not the TV show, but.
This is intense. So I hear Monroe bobbles. Is he able to corral it? And possession arrow swings to St. Mary's, so it'll be St. Mary's ball. Monroe upset with himself. He knew he had to come up with that possession. So possession arrow will swing toward A&M International. Under 3 minutes to go here.
So you've seen some of those kinds of possessions out of the Rattlers here. Fred Wilson seems like trying to talk Joe out of the funk there. You don't want Monroe getting down on himself. You need him for the next 3 minutes. But you've seen a couple of lost possessions here in the overtimes for St. Mary's.
In both overtimes, we saw that ball that overshot. I believe it was I think it was Bolton or Thomas who overthrew it. Monroe not able to catch up to it. Now the court being wiped down just a little bit. Give us a little time to collect ourselves here. 67-65 the score, 2:52 remaining. Live from Bill Greehey Arena. Would it be fair to say the original Rattler Network 2? David Tovar, Chad Peters.
Yeah.
With our very own Chris Bosch, Scott Fonger. And that's by no means an offense, because Chris Bosch is a terrific player. And Scott Fonger, one of my childhood heroes. If he's listening, floating down a lake somewhere, enjoying a 12-ounce can of something. 2:37 remaining here. Back in action, Dust Devils with possession. Ferry over to Jefferson. It's going to launch another big three. That shot no good. Benny not able to corral the rebound. Rejection by Monroe. He deflects it, and Bolton comes up with the loose ball. Big defensive play there for the Rattlers as we approach the 2-minute warning again.
But too many second chance looks for the International. Way too many.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable if you're a St. Mary's fan. Here's Alexander over to Benny. Now Wilson. Bolton over to Monroe. Back to JJ. Here's a screen.
5 on the shot clock.
Nice dribbling. Bolton got to put up another tough shot. Off the front iron, no good. As we approach 90 seconds to play here in double overtime. Rattlers with a 2-point lead, but of course no lead has been safe. Oh, good dish. Offensive foul. Wow. Who would think maybe the clutch play of the game is not going to be a jump shot nor a putback. It might be an offensive foul.
And that's the 5th.
So Culver, who has caused a ruckus for the Rattlers, will now sit out the rest of however long this game goes.
And you might have seen the Joe Monroe cheering section waving bye-bye to Culver there.
Yeah.
A huge foul out for International.
So now Pierce in the game for St. Mary's. He'll join Wilson along with Benny, Monroe, and Alexander. Here's Pierce. I believe playing in his first minutes here in the overtime sessions. Here's Benny. Has an open Pierce from way downtown. No good. Pierce has it. Big rebound, and now we are under a minute. Oh, you could have just imagined that crowd on both sides if that three fell, but good awareness by Pierce, able to come back and maintain possession.
Huge possession coming up. International needs a stop.
You know, thinking of the first overtime and then the crunch, you don't want to turn it over. The important thing. We saw it happen, and that's how Jefferson got his three, and that's how we find ourselves in double overtime. Think about the feather in the cap, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because in this game, I think I've done that about 10 times. You don't want to get ahead of yourself, but think about the feather in the cap that it would be for the Rattlers. 5 overtimes against these Dust Devils this season in the last month. The last game was on January 18th. We're in March 1st, so a month and a half. You played these guys for, if my math serves me right, 40 times 2 is 80, and then 3 overtimes is 15. That's 105 for 115 minutes at the completion of this game, and then you might have to see them again. Think of how fitting that would be if you got to see them in the tournament final.
And that's the thing. Here's the truth bomb for you. Whatever statisticians are slated to stat the Heartland Conference tournament, whether in Arkansas or Laredo, if these two teams meet up, just go ahead and bring in a cot and get ready for a long evening.
Better pack some extra goodies and some extra chips. I know statisticians love some Coke and chips, so they're going to have to definitely pack a 12-pack. Rattler basketball here, 50 seconds remaining. 67-65 is the score. Live from Bill Greehey Arena. David Tovar, Chad Peters with you. Fred Wilson. High atop the key is Monroe. Now here's Benny. Over to Pierce. Shot clock approaching 10. Monroe back to Benny. A long three. That's good! From way downtown. MB Marvin Benny from Toronto, and now here's Jefferson for 3. That shot no good, and that might do it. Yeah. My goodness, you want to talk about a 4-point shot added to basketball. Benny might be the first recipient of 4 points.
And that's one of those shots the coach is going, no, yes!
Oh my goodness.
From way out there.
That stoic look on Coach Zelznak did not leave even when that shot went in, but my oh my, what a shot. The clock running down, about 6 seconds remaining. What a jump shot by Marvin Benny. And now he's at the line. Oh, free throw line not far enough for Benny. Gets the first one to go. Marvin Benny, the junior from Toronto, Canada, 16 points, including what could be the dagger. Just a possession to go. Both free throws are good. He is so poised at the line. First year as a Rattler, first year in big-time NCAA competition, and it is just another day for him. That shot way off the mark. The anti-Benny. Trying to draw the foul, no good, and Monroe, he is hacked, and he'll head to the line. Wow.
And that just about puts a bow on that one.
To put a bow on it, Marvin Benny and the Rattlers will look to sweep the Dust Devils here in their season series, but if the basketball gods have anything to do with it, we might see round 3 for all the marbles.
Yeah, so I believe what this does is it does guarantee that the tournament goes to Fort Smith. I'm going to pull up the handy-dandy Heartland Conference website here. They also have an app the Heartland Conference does. If you've not checked that out yet, be sure to download that.
Not even I, in my infinite knowledge, knew that. Monroe's second free throw is good, so he knocks them both down. 4 straight free throws knocked down by Benny, and Monroe will look to put a bow on this one. That will do it. In double overtime, the St. Mary's Rattlers defeat the A&M International Dust Devils 74-65 in San Antonio at St. Mary's inside Bill Greehey Arena. I don't think sentences could do justice to the great game we watched. It was a dandy. It was everything we expected. The newest rivalry in the Heartland Conference.
And it might be a long bus ride home for some of those here in attendance.
A lot of those in attendance.
But it does answer all the questions we've been talking about the Heartland Conference tournament next week. It is in Fort Smith now. They are the Heartland Conference regular season champions again. They won the conference last year. They will be the 1 seed. TAMIU the 2 seed. St. Mary's the 3 seed. And Texas Permian Basin the 4 seed. So what does that mean? It means these two teams will be meeting up again next Friday. Just change the location, pistol in a few overtimes, and we'll see who comes out on top.
In double overtime, the Rattlers victorious. These two teams throughout the year have played 5 overtimes. And the song choice appropriate as they are kissing the Laredo faithful goodbye. As is one broadcaster here for basketball as an undergrad. Well, before we go, just want to thank one more time, thank all the talented people I've worked alongside with, from Iron Mike Thompson, Scott Fonger, Robin Johnson's making a way up, and the great people I work with alongside now, Joe Rodriguez, Brian McGluion, Kayleen Selznak. Am I missing somebody? Chad, help me if I'm missing somebody.
Jasmine up in the booth.
Bianca down taking stats. John and Max, who I've worked with as far as taking stats. Russ Kubicek, Tony Morano. Who else?
Interns, Emma and Natalie.
Oh, my man, Tommy Moreno. And then two special shout-outs. One to our Rattler Network alum, Raul Tovar. I know him better as Big Brother, who's now working for a small TV station in Bristol, Connecticut, otherwise known as the Four Letters. Shout out to him. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have found the next hello, or the next thank you, I should say, Chad Peters. Thank you, sir, so much for allowing I don't make it sound too cheesy, but allowing a boyhood dream to really come true. I had no idea I could actually cover sports as a career.
It's been fun, partner.
It's been a blast. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Not only, my mom calls you professor. Oh, how's the professor doing? And I'm like, Mom, he's not a professor. But actually, the truth is, he really is. A professor, a mentor, and a friend. And a boss who signs the checks. And I'm not saying it because he will, but it's because it's the truth. So thank you so much, Mr. Peters. And thank you, Rattler fans. Thank you so much for allowing me to bother you in between games, at halftimes, on the internet, on Twitter, on RattlerAthletics.com. Thank you so much for watching. One last time here from Bill Greehey Arena as an undergrad, because you haven't seen the last of me yet, Rattler fans. Signing off for Brian McGluion and Chad Peters. I'm David Tovar, to quote one of my favorite sportscasters, quoting one of his favorite broadcasters. I've done all the damage I can do. For Rattler Athletics, David Tovar, good night and good luck.